welcome to our video tutorial for this snowflake cat scarf that you can see Melba wearing here. So I hope you enjoy it. Please like, share and subscribe, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye. And she's off. Okay, so to make this snowflake cat scarf, you'll need some yarn, and I'm going to use two different colours just to mix up the colours of my snowflakes a little. But you can use whatever colour you want. You could make this multicoloured, you could use just a traditional white or cream. This one here is about a 2-weight. It's this kind of tape-like yarn, if you can see that there on camera. It's an acrylic metallic blend. And yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to make two different colours for my snowflakes. You'll need a crochet hook that corresponds to your yarn, and I'm going to use 3mm, if that's going to focus. There we go. And you'll probably want to stay down around the smaller hook size and the finer weight yarn, just so your snowflakes, you know, kind of look like snowflakes. But you can basically use any yarn that you want. But you know, you're probably looking on the finer weights and the smaller hook sizes. You'll need some scissors to snip your ends, a darning needle to sew or weave in your ends, and a tape measure is optional just to get a general idea of your cat's neck circumference. I'll give you a guide in the description box below to standard cat sizes, but you know, if you want to take a measurement from your cat, that's fine too. This scarf doesn't need to fit exactly, so it's really easy to fit. Okay, so to make the snowflake cat scarf, you'll need to know how to make a magic ring, how to double crochet, how to create a chain, how to slip stitch, how to single crochet, and then how to weave in ends. So we'll just be making multiple of these snowflakes, and then we'll be attaching them with a chain. So yeah, beginner friendly, yeah, and lots of fun as always. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to make one snowflake on camera, and then I'm going to make the rest of mine off camera. So to get started, you'll make a magic ring. So just a reminder that I don't run through the techniques in any great detail. So if you need to brush up on any of these basic techniques, then just check out a YouTube tutorial or, you know, any resource that you've got for these basic techniques. Now you'll chain 2 here, and then into the ring place 2 double crochets. So this is all US terminology. And 2. So now you'll chain 4. And 4. And then 3 double crochets into the ring. 1 and 2 and 3. So just to recap, our initial chain counts as a double crochet. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 4, and then 1, 2, 3 double crochets. So chain 4, 3 and 4, and then 3 double crochets. So this is the pattern that we're going to do for this round 1. The 3 double crochets and then a chain 4. And just to bring in one of my snowflakes that I've made previously. So we're going to do that. So these chain 4s are creating these little areas here. So we're going to do that 6 times. Okay, so you'll have 6 of these little holes or chain 4 spaces. Okay, so let's just do one more together, and then I'll let you go on and finish off camera. So chain 4 and then 3 double crochets into the ring. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, so I need to do another 3. So I'm going to pause here and do that off camera, so I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain spaces. So I'm going to chain my last set of 4 here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain to join. So slip stitching into the top of that starting chain, and then you'll take the tail end and pull that nice and firmly to close your ring. Now you might have to give it a little tug. Can be a little bit tricky to close, but you'll get to a point where it'll close up nice and firmly. So that's row 1, and we're going to move on to our final round, row 2. So no chain here. We're just going to, what we're going to do is locate that first, so we've slip stitched into the chain, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, okay, which is the middle double crochet, and then place 3 single crochets into that chain space, that next chain space, chain 4, just as you did in the previous row. Now in this row we're going to create the little points on the snowflake, these little pointy ends. So we're going to slip stitch into that 4th chain. So slip stitch. And then place 3 single crochets once again back into that same chain space. 2 and 3. Okay, so that's basically how it's going to go. So let's do one more together. So you'll slip stitch into that central double crochet, so the second double crochet of the 3. 3 single crochets into the next chain space, 2 and 3. Chain 4. Slip stitch into that 4th chain. So the 4th chain from the hook, and then 3 single crochets back into that same chain space, 2 and 3, and then slip stitching into that central double crochet. Okay, so go around and finish until you get, you get back to where you started, and I'll do the same, and I'll meet you soon. Okay, and just to mention here that often what happens is your last single crochet hides that first double crochet in the set of 3. So it's best to work backwards. So you can see your 3rd one there, and that means this one here is your 2nd one. Okay, just to make that clear. Okay, so I'm just placing my last single crochet in that last chain space. And then you're just going to slip stitch back into that very first slip stitch. Okay, it can be a little bit tight, but get your hook in there and slip stitch into that very first slip stitch. And then just yarn over and pull through, leaving a tail end to weave in. And that's your first snowflake. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and make as many as you want to create your scarf. So I'm going to make mine off camera. I've already made one of my gold ones. So I'm going to alternate them, I think. And then once you've made the number that you need, we'll start to join them together. And of course you want to weave in your ends. So actually let's just do that on camera now. So what I tend to do is I take that tail end that we finished with. This just is how I do it. You do it however you want. But I just weave this into the back, and I take it towards the starting tail. Let's just get that through there. So I take it to the starting tail, and then I take my starting tail and I feed that through as well, through my needle as well. Oops. So I've got both of those tails on my needle. Let's just get that in there. It's always harder doing this on camera. So I'm just going to thread that and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got both threaded there, and then I'm just going to finish off threading through both. So I just go around that central area, and you can just give that tail a little bit more tug if you want to, in case it's loosened up any. And then I just go around the central area a little bit. And then I get to do kind of both of them at the same time. Let's just get that through. And then I'll just go through a little bit more. So you'll weave in all of your ends of your snowflakes as well. And like I said, I'll meet you once I've done all of my snowflakes. So I'm not sure exactly how many I'll need, but you know, you want it so it goes around your cat's neck. Now, you know, you can also space them, when we join them, you can space them out a little bit more so they're not touching, or you can have them touching, whereby you'll need more if you choose this option, or you'll need less if you choose this option. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I probably want them touching a little bit, but not too much. Probably just overlapping like that, I think, is probably how I'm going to go. So I'll make the number that I need to go around Melba's neck circumference, and also have 1 or 2 that hang down at her chest, just to be a bit decorative. So you don't have to have, well, you have to have 1 at least that will thread through and hang at the chest, but you don't have to have 2, or you could have 3, or, it all depends on the look that you're going for. So bear all those things in mind, and make the number that you need to make the, this neck circumference of your cat, plus, 1 to 3 extra that will hang down at the chest. So I'm going to do the same, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, so there I've done all of my stars and, well, snowflakes that kind of look like stars, but actually they could also be stars, but they're meant to be snowflakes. So I've done all of mine there, and I've got, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and that, for the yarn that I'm using, the hook size I'm using, and Melba's neck circumference, I think is going to be fine. So now we're going to join our snowflakes together. So just have them in the order that you want them to go in, and we're going to join them via one of these points. So just insert your hook into that chain space. We're just going to tie on the yarn. So how I do that is I just pull up a loop, chain 1. Now you can tie a knot, you can do it by, making a slip stitch. I just do it simply like that, and then I'm going to weave in this tail end to secure it. Now we're just going to make a chain in between each snowflake. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see how 3 does. See, for me, 3 is probably going to be about the distance that I want, because I want them kind of touching, but not too overlapping. So then I'm going to just insert my hook into the next one, and I'm going to make you can either slip stitch, just do a slip stitch here to join them, or you can single crochet. Either of those options is fine. I'm just going to do a slip stitch, I think, and then 1, 2, 3. So you'll just do the same number of chains in between each snowflake. So my next one will be I'm just going to alternate mine, and then I'll just attach the next one. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach them using a chain. Now you can do as many chains as you want in between each snowflake. If you want them further apart, obviously you do a longer chain. If you want them closer, you do a shorter chain. So that's about how mine are going to sit, and that for me is pretty perfect. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to attach each of mine, and we'll come back at the end and I'll show you how we're going to make it make a loop, and so it can actually be a scarf. So I'll continue on, and you do the same, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I've attached all of my snowflakes, and I actually went back and ended up doing 6 chains in between each snowflake. Okay, now I'm just going to measure how long I've got there. So I've got 25 centimeters, let's say 26-ish, so which is fine. Melba's neck circumference is about 23.5 to 24. So at this point, you know, if you need to, you can always make an extra 1 or 2 snowflakes. You know, you can, totally adjust it as you go. Or, you know, if you want to go back and add more chains in between each snowflake, you can also do that. But I'm going to finish this off because that's about right for Melba. It's going to leave one or two of my snowflakes hanging down. So all you'll do, you just want to create a chain. So 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm probably going to need about 12 or 15. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, so the idea with this is we're going to make a loop with this. So actually I'm going to need quite a few more. But you're going to be able to fold one of your snowflakes in half and feed it through the loop, so you create that. You create the scarf, so you create the loop, but also you create the little bit that hangs down. So let's do a little bit more. I've done 12 there, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's try that. Might be getting close now. Let's do 20. So, you know, you'll work this out depending on the size of your snowflakes. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine now. And then I'm just going to slip stitch back into the top of that last snowflake. And once again, I'll just check that I can definitely get my snowflake through there. Oh, easily now. Yeah, that's good. So I can even maybe go back and do less chains, but you can kind of see how this is going to work now. Let's just get those all around the right way. Okay, so then I can, if I want to, and I've got enough length, I can put a second one through. So I've got 2 hanging down with the scarf. So I'm actually going to go back and I'll decrease the size of that loop because it's plenty big enough. So, you know, sometimes these things are just a little bit of trial and error. So 1, 2, let's take 3, 4 off. I think that's still going to be plenty. And just slip stitch. And can I easily get those through? Yeah, still can really easily get those through. So I was closer the first time. Okay. So now I'm just going to yarn over and pull through. And snip off a tail. Now I'll just pull those 2 back that I've put through. Let's just bring those back through. And now we've just got these last couple of tail ends to weave in, and then we're done. So how quick and easy is that? Other than, you know, making all the snowflakes. It's a very easy little cute pattern. So you'll just, you know, as you did before, you'll just weave in your tail ends. Now with this one that's not, you know, it's not gold on gold, it's not the right color. What you can do is just weave, weave this back through and come into the cream. But you know, the other thing you could do is make sure that you finish and end on the same color as your chain. But I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to be able to disguise it well enough, is I'll just come back in behind, in the back there, and I'll come down my chain a little bit. So just make sure you pull that nice and tight, and you can go backwards and forwards over that finishing area a little bit just to make it nice and secure in there. So that's going to use up some of your tail anyway. So I'm just going to make that nice and secure in the behind there. And let's go one more time, and actually that's going to be pretty close to being enough for weaving in my end anyway. So let's do one more time there. Yeah, that's good anyway. And then what I'll do is I think I'll just come back through a little bit. So, you know, however this works out for you. And I'll snip that tail end. And then I've just got this one at the beginning to do, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go over this a little bit just to secure on that first snowflake. So I'll see you in a moment. And there you've got your super cute snowflake cat scarf. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, share and subscribe, and yeah, you can email us your photos of your cat wearing his or her snowflake scarf to catventurous.community@gmail.com, or you can tag us on social media at catventurous.crochet. As always, we love to see the photos of your creations and of course of your cat, and don't forget to tell us your cat's name. You know, we love cats here, so we love to meet your cat and see what your crochet creation looks like. So thanks very much for being here, and hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye. Hi everyone, and welcome to our video tutorial for the snowflake cat scarf. Okay, one more, Melba. Can we just do one more? Treats? You want some treats? You will get some. Ready? Stay here. Okay. Treats.